and gentlemen, welcome back to the Smart Tank Revolution, the only podcast where we always kick out at two. We are your hosts,
the benevolent, intelligent, extravagant, and eloquent Mr. Donnie Wonderful, alongside my co-host, my colleague,
Tribal Chief, Joey effing Business.
We gonna clap. That by far was the best intro to Joey Business I've heard on the show ever.
And I am extremely excited. We just ended Money in the Bank, and my spiritual cohort was in the ring, and we'll get to that part in a moment.
We definitely shall.
We're gonna go through this in chronological order. So, what was up first? It was the
pre-show.
Yep.
And if you've listened to us before, you know that Donnie Wonderful isn't a fan of pre-shows. Mm-hmm. But this is the first pre-show with a live audience.
Yeah.
So the live audience actually helped me get through the pre-show. Not that I always feel that pre-shows should be reserved for like promo interviews.
Yeah, I agree.
And to give us a preview what to come.
Type deal.
Yeah, kind of like that. I always feel like the pre-show matches they deserve a spot on the card, so I usually just shun it. But we had the Mysterios defending their tag team titles against the Usos. And for a pre-show, this was pretty damn good. Now, if you're new to our rating system, we do things for a one count, 2 count, 3 counts, and everything in between. So 1.5. Sometimes a 1 count could be good. You never know. It's all it changes with the context of whatever we want it to be.
Yeah, and sometimes we go above a 3 count.
Yes,
really good.
Today's the first time that I know I've gone above the 3 count one time, and I'll explain the match and when I did and why I did what I did. But we're beginning with the Mysterios defending their tag team championships against the Usos. It was a great kickoff show.
Yeah.
Great pace. The crowd was amped.
I mean, good God. There's no barometer for the level of energy that this crowd put out. It's
Exactly.
just incredible.
Exactly.
Not Aldo Montoya. Just incredible.
Where we were watching it from home and felt like we were in Fort Worth with them.
Agreed.
Electric. It definitely made the experience phenomenal. I rated it a 2 count. Like I said, I loved the pace.
Yeah.
I loved the finish. It was watchable for me, and I guess I was kind of caught off guard with it because I expected the pre-show just to be a throwaway match and something terrible.
Yeah, so I mean, it wasn't a throwaway match. It was, we had a match of importance. It was the tag team championship with the Usos against Dominic and Rey Mysterio. And I gotta be honest, I thought this match was coming at SummerSlam, so this kind of threw me off, seeing this given to us so early. And I also thought, well, it's a pre-show match, so it's probably going to be a warm-up, and there'll be some shenanigans where the Mysterios retain. And no, they didn't go that route. They flat out went with the title change. Now, if anyone follows wrestling, behind the scenes right now, Jimmy Uso of the Usos has a little bit of a legal snafu and situation with a DUI that he's handling. One of his multiple DUIs in recent years. So I really didn't see WWE rewarding him at this point, but they did. And the only thing I can think of is that the long-term plans to have Roman's empire dripped in gold is more important to the WWE than punishing Jimmy Uso for this infraction, which is no by means a minor infraction.
Right.
The guy went through a red light at 100 miles an hour. He could have murdered people on the road. And I'm not an advocate for that, and it's very scary that, and I've also read that a lot of the roster has an issue with it. So to give him a major title on a show like Money in the Bank with the crowd back, yeah, that's good for him, but I feel like it sends the wrong message to the roster. And the roster should be pissed off.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to take another perspective of it. Maybe they would prefer to keep him under their watchful eye,
That could happen too.
so they can somewhat chaperone him. Because I'm pretty sure that if there wasn't any hefty fines or any jail time or any community service, something of that nature is pending for him. So maybe if they can keep him in their nest and keep him from operating a vehicle, period. Maybe they decided to go that route. Here, like, you're gonna be 24-hour surveillance. You're gonna be on the clock to us at all times. You're gonna report to us.
That could happen.
Maybe. I mean,
Right.
because typically, like, they won't let them. If there was something pending, he wouldn't have been able to leave Pensacola.
Right. That's
So-
true. Yeah. Well, it got dismissed in Pensacola.
Then
Yeah. No, I know.
he's completely vindicated. But it's not. It's a DUI though. Right?
Yeah, I forget how it was. So Pensacola has a little bit of the weird situation where they consider multiple DUIs not like crazy major infractions. Where we in Massachusetts, you get one, you kind of fucked.
Yeah. Wow. All right, Florida.
Yeah.
Well.
The dumbest state in the union. But so, anyways, back to the wrestling part of it. Sorry for going off on the tangent. It was good. One thing I said to you during it is that Dominic Mysterio is definitely getting better. It's pretty fluid, and yeah, he shed a little bit of weight, maybe some baby fat, but he's quicker, he's more crisp, and yeah, he's just improving. So I didn't see them having a long title run. I figured it was kind of like a Cinderella, hey, your dad and you get the titles. It'll be a novelty type thing. Because I knew the Usos were the long-term game plan.
Okay.
And with that being said, putting the titles on the Usos just leads me to believe that they have... Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
The outcome of the main event makes even more sense.
Right. And speaking of novelty champions, we're gonna get to that later because, well, I just want to preface it with saying that I thought that that Omos and AJ Styles would be novelty champions.
So did I.
But they wrestled tonight, and we'll get to them. But the next match, the pay-per-view opened up with the women's Money in the Bank
Yes,
match.
correct.
Now, I'm gonna lead off with just giving it my rating and then explaining it later as you go along. I rated this a 1 count. So remember, earlier I mentioned, in our rating scale, 1 count, 2 count, 3 counts, and everything in between, and apparently we go above 3 now.
Yep.
Sometimes a 1 count could be terrible. Sometimes it can be mediocre. Sometimes it can be okay.
Yep.
I rated this a 1. I just thought that that I was really turned off by some of the Alexa Bliss stuff with her mind control, because that's when it got a little phony to me. Because Alexa Bliss she can wrestle. Everyone here can wrestle respectfully, and people have their judgments on Tamina, but there was a few botched spots, and then it to me it just got a little like Disney-ish. So I gave it a 1 count, a decent. It was decent, as to say. I'm glad they put this on first, but hey, Nikki, not Nikki Cross, but Nikki ASH. I don't mind her winning. I don't mind that. That's something new. It's kind of reminds me of last year when Otis won the Money in the Bank. It's a new flavor. You, however, rated this.
2.5.
Oh, now it's a 2.5. Oh, it was, yep, it was a 2.5. Explain yourself, sir.
As far as you being turned off by the Alexa Bliss supernatural aspect of everything, you're incorrect in every way, sir. I thought that was the strong selling point of the match. I think they are going so full force with her gimmick change that it's no longer Bray Wyatt's sidekick or, assistant. It is her own thing that has evolved. I mean, speaking of, we haven't even seen Bray Wyatt. We don't know what the hell he's doing. I know he sent out a heartfelt message that he misses everybody. It's like he's in, like, creative lockdown or something. They don't know what the hell to do with him. But Alexa has evolved beyond that. And as far as her mind control, I dug that so much. One thing I will say is the best part about her gimmick is she commits to it 110%. She puts her all. And no matter how, far-fetched it may seem.
No matter how far-fetched it may seem,
No matter how far-fetched.
Very far-fetched.
Very far-fetched. She commits to it. And it does make it somewhat
That's
more
true.
believable.
That's true.
And what I love about it is the little nuances she brings. Like, her new music is fantastic for her. Whoever composed that did a solid, great job.
You were raving how she was standing on the ropes.
Yes, and I'm about to get to that. So my favorite part of the match isn't even part of the match at all. I love this new thing in the entrance where she comes in and she, almost like bipolar, has a happy expression and a very stern, serious expression, like demonic. But the other part I thought was cool was during every one of the women's entrances, she stood on the second rope on the outside of the ring with her hands behind her back, kind of surveying the area, and she just looked unimpressed the whole time. But at the same time, super intimidating.
Kind of like how that I do like that aspect. It reminds me of like the first years, the early years of the Undertaker.
Yes, and that's what I was about to get to. So thank you. You proved my point. How amazing that was. And so for that already got a winning grade for me.
Yeah, but the Undertaker wasn't doing no mind control. And
But the mind control is even extra, which I love. Because there was a point in the match where Zelina Vega was crawling up the ladder, and Alexa Bliss was on the other side, and she raised her hand up, like looking at her palm, and it had Zelina Vega be like the mirror of her. And then she started walking mentally Zelina Vega down the ladder, which I thought was fabulous.
If she has that power, just go to any bank in the world, speak to any teller, just have them go to the vault and bring out millions of dollars.
But she'd rather have the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Unbelievable, like that.
Unbelievable.
I didn't. Preposterous, reprehensible, erroneous. I can keep going.
Erroneous.
I can keep going.
It was great though. I love that aspect. What I didn't like is I'm like, well, wait a minute. She has all this power. How are they going to eliminate her from the match? Well, the best thing creative could come up with is stacking ladders on top of her, burying her like some evil soul. And that was just ridiculous. That I thought was stupid. But now, on the non-supernatural aspects of the match, it was well done. One of the better Money in the Bank matches for women. It was action-packed, lots of great spots, lots of different innovative things that we haven't seen before. And
mind control.
Mind control.
Mind
so
control.
Epic. So epic.
Mind control.
So
I completely, respectfully, and damn near disrespectfully disagree.
I love it. I want more mind control. I want her to start controlling fans in the WWE universe and see what they do. Now, I thought it was fantastic. But what I didn't like is you had a lot of sloppiness in the match, too, which kept it from being a 3 count. It would have been a 3 count. Because that mind control pushed it right over the edge for me.
See, guys, like I thought quite the contrary.
That's right. Contrarian.
I gave it a 1 count. As I mentioned earlier, I was glad that it went on first. Wasn't a fan of the mind control. Like I said, I give credit to all of these superstars. I know each one of them are well trained and can wrestle. It's just too many, especially Naomi. I absolutely love Naomi. Love the spots that she had in this match. Just too many bodies, too many ladders, just too much chaos, and I just think
Natasha.
Natalia.
I've watched Black Widow too many times in the past 2 weeks. Natasha Romanoff's on my mind. No, friggin' Natalia and Tamina looked like garbage out there. They slowed the tempo. They damn near messed up every spot they were part of. And Natalia's acting is abysmal. So, that dragged it down a little bit. But Zelina was good. Liv Morgan was heartbreaking because I thought she could have used the win.
Mm-hmm.
I thought how Nikki Cross, I'm not calling her Nikki Ace, I don't care. I thought how Nikki Cross Ash how she won it was cute. It was interesting.
Yeah.
They're all like beating each other up like a Bugs Bunny cartoon, and then she's like outside. Like they're all in a scrum, and she steps outside the scrum, and everyone's still beating each other up. And while they're busy, she just grabs the briefcase. No fuss, no muss. I thought that was a really cool ending. Problem is, I didn't think it was the ending that she should have got. I thought that ending would have went to Liv Morgan, and I think it would have been much better suited for her.
Nah.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm okay with Nikki winning it. You know, I just didn't want the mainstays who always win everything to win, and I didn't get that, so I was happy.
Well, that explains your 2.5 count.
Until later.
Now from there we have the Raw tag team titles, Omos and AJ versus the Viking Raiders / Viking Experience / Vikings.
Yep.
Now I absolutely love how they presented Omos here.
Absolutely.
AJ is golden. I think these 4 men are a great pair. I think they told a really good story. I love the wrestling. I love the finish. I love how strong they made Omos look. As I referenced earlier, I gave this the 2.5, the 2.5 count that Joey gave the women's Money in the Bank match.
Yep.
Now, looking at your rating, you also gave it a 2.5 count. So you're saying that the women's Money in the Bank was equal to this.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because it was this good.
Really?
Yeah, this had a lot of slow spots in the beginning getting going, but it was saved by that flurry at the end, and Omos actually impressed me quite a bit.
Yeah.
For, he's still really green. He's not Goldberg green. He's not grass green.
But that was hidden they did a good job. Booking did a
job
really
of
good job hiding that.
And his selling leaves a lot to be desired.
He's still green.
Yeah, he's really green. But he's got a good future. He's very talented as far as, the guy's a beast. He's such an amazing size. And his agility for someone that size, he's intimidating with size. But what I liked was the breakup of the count for the Viking Raiders with Omos using one of the Viking Raiders on the outside of the ring because he wasn't going to expend the energy or speed to get to AJ Styles, which was in a total 3 count position because that move was just stellar.
Yeah, the finisher, yeah.
But it was just awesome the way the reversal came to get out of that for the champs because he shoved him and he fell back, and I've got to give kudos to the ref on that one because it was timed perfectly.
Yeah. And
it was something I've never seen before. I've never seen somebody use the tag team partner on the outside to break up a 3 count. So that was something, you give me something new, I'm usually going to give you a higher count. I'm usually going to applaud the match more. I liked it. I still think it's a waste of AJ. I mean, I love AJ. He's in the twilight of his career, I feel. He's winding down and he should be in high-profile matches.
That's true. That's why when we were talking earlier about the pre-show match, we both revealed on here that we thought that they were just novelty champions because I feel the same way about AJ as you do.
I do.
But I think now, like this, the fact that they're keeping the belts on them is just showing them.
Yeah.
It's showing us all how versatile, how versatile he is and how great he is.
And I think maybe they want Omos to be under the tutelage of AJ. Someone as great and as comprehensive in the ring and as, really crisp and clean.
Plus,
and safe.
Think about it like this: it's also keeping AJ busy with opponents that he normally wouldn't wrestle.
Right, exactly.
And he's looking good wrestling these guys.
Yeah.
So I think in the long term, in the long scheme, like when we talk about legacies, we're gonna look at this run that AJ's having and saying like 10 years from now, this is why he was comparable to Shawn Michaels. This is why he was one of the best in that era and in his late 40s. Right here, what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, he's the ultimate utility player, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's nothing more to be said. The match itself was decent. But for the innovative spot to get out of the pin,
you love that one.
It bumped up my rating.
See, I thought this, and I'm gonna close out this this segment with this. I thought this was way better than the women's Money in the Bank match, and that's why I gave it the rating I gave it. and you seem to think that they're equal. But hey, you can't argue opinion.
And you'd be wrong, sir.
You can't argue opinion. So the next match was the WWE champion, the Raw Championship.
Yep.
Not the Universal one, whatever, whichever one. They got too many damn belts anyway. Mm-hmm. Bobby Lashley, Kofi Kingston, the shoes, the Jordans that Kofi wore were just so immaculate. They were beautiful. I cringed every time just watching them just get scuffed and wrinkled and creased. Like, oh, that hurt my heart.
You were like, bring it home, please. It was like the bell rang and you wanted it to go home.
Okay, so this was a squash match. This was a squash match. And the reason why I gave it a perfect 3 count is because this elevates Bobby Lashley to a more ruthless level of aggression that we needed to see. If you watched the Go Home episode of Raw last week, Bobby's clearly upset. He was called out by Kofi saying that MVP made him soft. And he came here to send a message, and they booked this one perfectly for me. So I gave it a 3. Not so much because of the match, but because of the booking decision to have him go over the way that he went over. I don't have any quarrels with that. It was a perfect decision. So I gave it a 3 count.
Yeah, in hindsight, I mean, I gave it a 2 count, and I still stand by that. I love Kofi Kingston. I think he's such a mega talent.
Yes, he
always
is.
Has been, and I just wanted more from him. I didn't want I didn't want a proverbial squash match. I just didn't want that. I did not want that. I wanted a back and forth where Bobby Lashley shows his dominance in the end, but I wanted Kofi to get quite a bit of offense. I wanted Champ to be in trouble. I wanted it to look like he presented a threat, and he just didn't present a threat in any way, shape, or form. He took 3 ugly dominators in a row, which I love Bobby Lashley using that move because he looks, I mean, I've always said he's like the next Ahmed Johnson.
Ugh.
But better than Ahmed Johnson. Way better than Ahmed Johnson. But I mean, he always reminded me of that, you know? And I always thought that the Dominator was a great move for Bobby Lashley, and I'm glad to see
But Ahmed Johnson didn't use the Dominator. Farouk used the Dominator.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Well, I'm showing my ignorance here. What did Ahmed Johnson use?
The Pearl River Plunge.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. No, Farouk's Dominator.
Oh, okay. That's a better parallel. The Ron Simmons, okay.
Yeah, I always thought that was the perfect finisher for Bobby Lashley. I remember he used it briefly when he started, and then they took it away from him and gave him, like, the spear or something like that. I forget what else. And I also like how he makes the Hurt Lock, like, not since the Masters Lock has it been used in that manner.
Right.
And the thing is, the Master Lock was okay. It was a mid-card finisher because anyone worth their salt would break out of it. This one, no one's broke out of it yet. I think maybe one person broke out of it. Has someone?
I don't think so.
Has Drew?
I don't think so.
Okay. So maybe no one's broke out of it. And again, it's very protected.
Yeah.
And
of course,
Lashley, you could see it coming from him. You're like, oh shit, that would finish anybody.
It's the perfect move, especially like when he lifts you up and puts you in a seated position.
Yeah.
So naturally, you're gonna try to get back onto your feet, but when he leans over, your body weight is gonna cut. Your neck's already weighed down. Your own body weight and your own effort to give up to rise from that is gonna suffocate you. I know from personal experience.
Yeah. So I thought it was brilliant. As far as that goes, it does put a more ruthless spin on Bobby Lashley.
And that's all we wanted.
That
I mean,
is what we wanted. But you know what? I would have been fine with a title change for Kofi getting another,
yeah, but
kiss with the title.
And I feel the same way too. And I think that he deserves it, but not like this and not here because you only knew if Kofi would have won today. He likely would have just been a transitional champion.
On Raw, yeah.
You know, like and he deserves a better run, better push, but a better title reign than the first one. Not saying not that the first one was bad. It's just, you know, and Kofi Mania was real. I just always felt that they're like, all right, we gave the fans what they want. Now the first chance we get, we're going to snatch it off them, and then that's what happened in 9 seconds.
Brock Lesnar and a really bad 9-second booking move. I thought that was a travesty to end his title reign. I'm still not over it, but you know, I told you what my theory is on this before the match started, and I still stand by it. I think you'll see it on Raw. I think Kofi is going to end up in, well, maybe not on Raw, but it will be a slow burn. Kofi's going to end up in the Hurt business. I really see it's going to be a
that'll be nice.
Beat him, join him situation.
That'll be nice. That'll be a good look. Kofi's super talented and fits in anywhere. You can plug him in anywhere. So from there we moved on to the Raw Women's Championship. Yep. Rhea Ripley defending her title against Charlotte Flair.
Yes.
The Queen.
Yep.
I'm going to open it with this, with my rating, my ranking. This I gave a 3.5. So whenever I give a 3.5, whenever I go above a 3 count, that means it's the match of the night. This match delivered.
It certainly did.
3.5, near falls, everything. They wrestled maybe what 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
It was excellent. Excellent. This is the match that I will rewatch over and over and over and over and over again. This is a great pair. They complement each other. They're the Bret Hart, Kurt Hennings, or the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels pair that can put on a great match anytime, anywhere. I love this match. Charlotte went over.
15 times.
I have no problem with the booking decision. Like I said, like this when you put those two in the ring, that's the most justifiable reason to chant "Fight Forever."
And here's the thing, I kind of realized this one. I like Rhea Ripley a lot. I have since NXT. Mm-hmm. But Charlotte Flair sells tickets and puts asses in seats. Rhea had the short-term novelty factor of, yeah, Rhea. But it was starting to fade. And I think that they could see that. And that's why they jumped to the old reliable with Charlotte. Because she is, in all intents and purposes, as much as I love Becky Lynch, and she's one of my favorites. And no, she didn't come back tonight, which upsets me, but she'll be back. It doesn't matter who I like. Charlotte Flair is unquestionably, without argument, the best women's wrestler of all time.
You know what? There it is. There's nothing more to add to that.
That's right.
There it is. But from there, from the greatest women's wrestler to ever live, we moved on to the men's money. Oh wait, by the way, you didn't say what you ranked it.
I gave it 3.5. It was fabulous. The ending was great too. It was very innovative the way she had her knee wrapped in the stairs, and she just repeatedly went for the knee. Like, it wasn't like a one-time tap. She just was like crushing that knee in between those stairs.
Listen, for all our listeners that are watching this at whatever point, go back and watch that match.
Yes.
Go back and watch it and get back to it.
And Charlotte gave her the most heinous version of the figure eight I've ever seen. The most pronounced version of it.
Yeah.
Like, so you could see Rhea. I mean, I was almost at the point where it was in there for like 20 seconds. I was like, oh, maybe Rhea's going to survive this.
Negative.
But no, she did not.
Negative. From there, we went on to the men's Money in the Bank match. And I'll let you lead off with this one, Joey. What you think?
Okay. Well, I also want to go back to Rhea and Charlotte for a second, even though, because I was reading on Twitter, if anyone watched Peacock, which had a stroke during the pay-per-view for a good 15 minutes, which was abysmal. The network doesn't do this crap. Hate Peacock. Hate the cock. But I was reading that it blacked out at the beginning of Charlotte and Rhea's match.
Sure did.
Because the WWE blacked it out. because the fans were chanting Becky, "We want Becky," so loud. It was so thunderous that Charlotte gave them a DX prop shot and rolled out of the ring and walked around the arena and flipped everyone off for like an extended minute.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she just kept saying, like, "Fuck you," type deal.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, she was pretty heated. Now, I don't know if that was a character thing or, like, because I know she loves Becky as a person. They're friends. They're tight. But I don't know. I mean, I think she was just trying to do some character work there. And the WWE was like, "Oh, we're family." And
PG.
We're with Peacock. So they like, blurted it out.
That's what that was.
Yeah, that's what that was.
Because watching it on our end, it just looked like, I thought, like, literally the power went out. Or something.
Yeah. So, no, that's what that was. And then now that leads me to believe, because during the men's Money in the Bank, Peacock had a stroke again, and it lasted a long time, which was so bad.
Boy.
It was like, it was basically watching Cinemax in 1992 or 94, when your parents went to sleep, you didn't want to wake them, and you're trying to adjust the cable, to get that adult movie so you can see that first boob, and you're just not having any luck because they're just not playing with you. So yeah, basically all the men's entrances were just interrupted and cut off, with the exception of Drew McIntyre, which I'm fine with. That's okay. This match surprised me. I gotta say that I thought I had this one figured out, and I was like, okay, I know who they're going to go for the winner. And I was wrong. WWE's been doing a good job of keeping me on my toes lately. We're doing the opposite of whatever I predict. Just
except except at the end of the night.
Yeah. So this was good. The match was good overall. It took a little while to get going, as most Money in the Banks do. You got to get the formula and whatnot. But when they got that like mega spot at the end where everyone started hitting their finisher in sequence, and that was just brilliant, and it always is. I loved the ending, the big ending from Big E.
Pun intended.
Yes, pun intended. And about fucking time.
Yeah.
This guy has been on the cusp of being a main eventer for about 5 years now.
Well deserved.
And he's so well deserved. And the only one who's not going to get it is Xavier.
Unfortunately.
But yeah. I was so happy with this. I hope they don't blow their load and just like have him cash in immediately. Or I hope they don't go the Cena route, which is what I think I could see Big E doing though with his character. Is announcing his shot and trading it in like a title shot. Like, way before him be like, well, I'm going to challenge you at Unforgiven.
I'm going to challenge you on SmackDown next week.
And I hope they don't do that, because I would like Big E to hold this for a little while, gain some mystique, do more character development outside the New Day, and, just show us how impressive in the ring and, his character is, because the big ending off the ladder was such a great way to finish it.
Yeah.
And what a strong get. Whereas Nikki kind of just like Looney Tunes it and got up there, Big E had it in control all the way.
You know what? Every Money in the Bank or in every TLC match should have Ricochet in it.
Oh my god.
Every last one of them.
That is a clip that they will re-show forever, and it was beautiful, and I was really happy with it. And the other thing that made me really happy was I didn't hear Brock Lesnar's music running out and randomly inserting himself in the match and becoming Brock in the Bank. You know what I mean?
And another thing, Johnny Drip Drip is also one of the most athletic wrestlers they have on this roster.
But his character sucks.
You'll get over it.
I am not getting over it. I don't like it.
You'll get over it. I rated this, I gave this a 3 count.
Yeah.
I think this is the pace that you have a Money in the Bank match with Seth Rollins, Drew, Kevin Owens, like Big E. Like this is what the Money in the Bank match should be. And in comparison to the women's, this really dogged the women's. This made the women's Money in the Bank match look like JV.
Yeah, it did. You're right.
So I gave it a 3 count.
You gave it a 3.5. They gave it the same as the women, which I think I really honestly do need to change that grade.
You sure did. Well, you gave the women a 2
I gotta
count.
give the women a 3.5.
Oh, no, you gave the women a 2.5.
Oh,
you did.
2.5?
You did.
Okay, no, I keep 3.5. That's perfect. It did dog the women's. It dogged the women's. It made them look
man.
JV. You're 100% right.
So from there, we went to the main event of the night
Stop
for the WWE Universal Championship.
Yep.
Roman Reigns, ahead of the table,
Yep. the tribal chief.
versus the rated R superstar Edge.
The rated R superstar Edge. First of all, the video package for this is brilliant. Edge's journey and story is amazing. And I got to give WWE a little bit of credit for not going the obvious route at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And here, they just didn't bite. They're not sacrificing Roman's story that they have built up organically over time into the best long-term WWE storyline I've ever seen.
Better than CM Punk.
Yes, it is.
Oh man,
I love CM Punk. I love
man.
CM Punk. But Roman's title reign makes CM Punk's title reign look JV.
wow.
That's right.
Longer than Randy Savage's title
That's
reign from
right.
WrestleMania 4. You don't even remember that.
I don't care. I don't need to remember it. All I know is it's not the head of the table.
No,
And this had a 3.5 count at entrances alone.
yeah, the slow entrances,
Oh.
like to build up the climax.
God, I loved it.
The pace of this one,
Climax is a
the
good word
pace,
'cause I almost needed a cigarette.
the pace of this one was slower, but told a great story. I gave this. I didn't. Well, I'm gonna let you know now, like, because we were writing all this stuff down.
Yeah.
I gave this a 3 count. It was a great match. I knew for a fact though that if Roman was gonna walk out the champion, it's gonna end in some type of schmoz, or not DQ, but there's gonna be some type of controversy.
Yep.
And in fact, it was with Seth Rollins saying that he did a promo after his match.
A new plan, which I somehow blocked out of my mind.
But it just didn't make sense for him to stop Edge from beating Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I know Roman's your boy from the Shield, but if you want to be the champion, how does that help you? Like so like that was a bit confusing for me. But and that booking decision to have him cost Edge the match. The only reason why I'm forgiving it is because it makes me really look forward to seeing those two in SummerSlam.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's a great SummerSlam match.
Yeah.
Edge versus
and as you're talking now,
what's his name?
it's just something dawned on me big time. Maybe this is the way Edge wanted to come back. I think it's not necessarily about the championship.
It's
it's
a final
working
run
with all the people that he hasn't got a chance to work with.
Edge versus Seth Rollins it's a good WrestleMania match. It's a great SummerSlam match.
Yeah,
it's just great booking.
Yeah.
And then the
then,
afterbirth.
Yeah, the match. Before we get to that, Rome. This was the only time I said to you, great outcome, the right move to keep the title on Roman.
Mm-hmm.
He's too hot right now. This Roman's on a totally different level than any character you've seen in WWE.
Yeah, but he's outshining Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman, like we saying, what does Paul Heyman do now?
It's like Paul Heyman is just an arm candy. Like, he has not really talked in a while, like anything big. And Roman's just so far ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you're talking from a guy who is not a Roman Reigns fan to being a Roman convert. Like, I am the voice of the head of the table.
Listen, he has a shrine.
Yep.
He goes to live shows, takes little snippets of Roman's hair. he has all that, ladies and gentlemen.
I've gone to live shows during COVID. That's impressive. I was in the Thunderdome.
He's in a Thunderdome at the time.
No, all I gotta say is, this is the only time during Roman's current run that he's been built to look a little weak. There's a chink in the armor. Because Edge, it took a while to get going. Which
I wouldn't say that.
I was yawning a little, but when Cesaro. Okay, when.
All right. Instead of weak, I'm gonna replace that with vulnerable.
Okay, vulnerable. That sounds good. Fine.
Because even going back to the Royal Rumble when he had the match with Kevin Owens.
That was great.
That was great. He was kind of vulnerable there.
Yeah, that's
Against Cesaro the same way. Like, he does a good job with looking vulnerable and finding a way to be resilient and win.
Yeah. Cesaro and him is still the match of the year.
I don't mind that.
That match is just fabulous. So anyways, Roman won with the help from Seth Rollins. And I'm as confused as you because this is a different Roman, so Seth's friendship with him wouldn't really apply to this run or this situation. You think he'd have a better shot at facing Edge, who he can't stand, rather than Roman. And WWE booking, that's all I gotta say. But I'm fine with the outcome. I like Roman's ruthlessness in it, but it was like Edge was really... The story they told is basically if Seth didn't interfere, we have a new WWE Universal Champion. Because Edge was so getting the best of Roman at every turn at the end.
It's true.
That it just... I mean, that's the way I could see it going.
So, I guess the question I would have then, well, thank God that Seth cost Edge the match, because if Edge wins, do we get the surprise return that we got at the end of the night?
Yeah, only if he wants to throw him in the Long Island Sound again. But yeah, so again, sometimes I think everyone must think that these pay-per-views are stooged off to me, because as soon as Roman grabbed the mic at the end, I was like, oh, if they just ended it with no mic or whatever, I didn't think we were going to get a return. We would just got that shot of him holding it up, and then it build up to SummerSlam. But when he grabbed the mic and said, acknowledge me, he said to the crowd, and now finally you have no choice but to acknowledge. I was like, watch, the only person I can feasibly see here besides Lesnar showing up is and of course out comes John Deere Cena right from the middle of Gorilla to a loud pop.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully deserved. Cena's on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, he's incredible. But I don't know where they go in this. I know they want you to think that Roman's vulnerable and Cena's going to take it home. And this definitely, if Edge wasn't a close call, this is going to be the closest call of this title run. Because there's two stories you can tell here. The continuation of this Samoan bloodline story, which is just the best storyline in the past decade at least. Maybe even the last 20 years for me. But you can also go big old number 17. John Cena getting that win. Then you wonder, you go, okay, if Cena wins it, does it dent and ruin Roman's run? It gives it a hiccup.
Yeah, not this one. This is his first run as a heel.
Yeah. So my thinking is, well, I don't think he'll ever get another run like this. This is like a once-in-a-thing chance. But my thinking is, Cena's got Hollywood movies coming up. I was just reading on it before we hopped on live. Cena's got like 4 movies coming up in the next 2 months. There ain't no fucking way he's a longevity champion if he wins.
Okay, then.
So I could see him just getting the obligatory number 17, and then Roman snapping and getting it back on SmackDown. Or
Roman could lose to big Super Cena, and then Super Cena's best friend could cash in that Money in the Bank, and that could be a way to transition it over to Big E.
Yeah, it could.
And then Big E and Roman can feud for a while.
Yeah, but here's the thing. With this storyline, Roman has to have the title. I know sometimes you evolve beyond the title and it's a prop and it doesn't. This title is integral to this story because
I agree.
It's the plate he uses to feed his food. His family food.
Yeah.
And that's what they explain to you. And now with the Usos winning their titles, it makes Roman look tremendously weak if he doesn't have his. But there's a funny thing that they did tonight, which I thought about this. This was hilarious. Roman and them all hug and embrace at the beginning, and they have those seedy eyes behind Roman's back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're already teasing a breakup.
They're teasing the breakup, but here's the funny thing. Listen, everything's recorded. So hypothetically,
he should go and see
wouldn't
it.
Roman just go watch this and be like, "What are you guys doing?"
Somebody should show him.
Yeah.
With social media now, you can just be like, hey.
Yeah, Paul Heyman won't show you. So you have to suspend disbelief that he doesn't know that they made that look, which is ridiculous because you know that he made that look. So anyway, Cena coming back, got a loud pop. It's a big deal. It's got a huge fight feel. I only hope they can undo the travesty of their first match, their first one-on-one match at No Mercy.
Yeah.
Because the build-up to that match years ago was so good.
It was real.
Yeah. The match was garbage.
Yeah.
Slow. Roman won it, but it was a horrible match. It was like Cena just phoned it in on that one. Roman was trying, but Cena phoned it in. And, I just hope they can undo that and give Roman the justice he deserves. Because I said to you so many times, the only person I feel that I can accept the end of this story, this particular story, is The Rock is the only one that can take it off of him. And I have no doubt that I have to believe they're working towards...
Can they afford that?
Yeah, I don't know. But here's the thing. I love long title reigns. You do too. WrestleMania is like another 8 months away. Something like that.
Roughly, yeah.
It's a long time to keep people interested. Another 8 months.
Not if he's doing it in this manner.
He's doing it in this manner. It's getting him fans, as you saw. The fans were split tonight.
In the beginning, they were split.
In the beginning, they were split. Towards the end, it was all Edge. They were just Edge. But, like I said, you can push too far with the point of them fans becoming disenchanted. And
There's
like,
nothing broken here. Like, there's literally nothing broken.
So, you have to wonder, is Cena going to dent it if he gets a quick title run? Like a quick hot potato. Is it going to dent the legitimacy of this? And I don't know. I know if I was booking this, I'd have Cena come as close as he possibly can, like Edge did, and then not shenanigans, but Roman pulls it out clean.
If I'm booking this, it's strictly because I know the promos are going to be golden, especially with
Roman's
Paul.
improvement.
With Paul Heyman behind Roman.
Yeah.
These promos and the build up to this is going to be golden. I don't care what you do at
Right.
SummerSlam.
So, we asked the question, what is Paul Heyman doing lately? This is where he's going to really step up and prove
He's
his
going
worth.
to shine right here.
Yeah,
He's going to shine right here.
So I gave this match a 3.5 count because it's the head of the table. And it was just a really good match. It took a while to get going. The pacing was really slow for like the first 10 minutes. I mean, dreadfully slow. Lots of collar and elbow tie-ups, lots of posturing, lots of, taking a powder outside the ring, taking your time.
But for reasons. Like, they didn't waste anything. They didn't waste any moves. They didn't waste any holds.
The heavyweight fight feel.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was beautiful. And the end with the, them giving their best shots blow for blow, making Roman a little doubtful to have to go get the chair and take advantage while the ref was distracted type of thing.
Right.
Adds another layer. Edge, at this point, I think he's on the farewell tour. I think you're right. I honestly thought it was about coming back for one more run with the championship. And he may still get that championship run. I mean, I don't know if he'll get it from Roman. If he's around long enough, Edge will get it maybe from whoever has it next. I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe he jumps to Raw and gets the title reign.
Could be. Well,
But this was great.
It was.
I thought Money in the Bank overall
It was a great pay-per-view.
was a 3-count pay-per-view.
3-count pay-per-view.
So
I agree.
And bring on SummerSlam.
Yes, and for Money in the Bank, it remains to be seen what's going to happen on Raw and SmackDown. But I know from this pay-per-view, I'll be watching both shows.
Absolutely. Lots of good opportunities for storytelling piggybacking off this pay-per-view.
Right.
And that's all you can ask for.
And that's all you can ask for. And that was the 2021 installment of Money in the Bank. Thank you guys for listening. Smart Tank Revolution on behalf of Joey Business. I'm Donnie Wonderful. We'll see you guys next time.
We out.